Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
All right, thanks a lot, Josh, and thank you for sticking around for the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports coverage. Walsh, I'll be joined by Chris Mueller in a matter of moments at the 93.7 The Fan Cam. And buckle up, our phone lines are already packed, and it says Pirates, Pirates, Pirates. Chris, I don't even know what to say about these calls.
Buckling my chin strap, Rich. Let's go. Hold on. Put on my helmet. Let's do it.
I don't even know what to say. How can the Pirates get worse? You trade away a guy like David Bednar, Bailey Falter, think you're going to get some guys that are close to the majors. They need bats. They didn't get that. What are they doing with Paul Skeens? They have no direction. I just don't understand. I see why people are upset right now. I don't get it. And I don't get why a lot of people are speculating that Ben Cherington is basically, didn't care because he knows he's on his last leg here, kind of like David Littlefield. A couple decades ago. I don't think that's the case. I think he thinks he's here. He just continues to make bad trades, and they continue to let him. And now we see it's just about money. And I don't even know. How can we even root for this team anymore? Because it is just 5 years project, 5 year, getting prospects. They're not getting anyone that's going to help this team win next year. So no matter what they say to us when they say, hey, we're going to try to do something in 26, what proof is there that they can compete in 26?
Rich, I'm happy to just chill here. If you want to go on the rant, you can take the calls. I'll pipe in. I'll kind of just check my watch, see what's going on here, kind of pipe in when I feel like it.
And Andrew Heaney, why is Andrew Heaney and Tommy Pham still on this team? That's what I don't understand. Get anything for those guys.
Unless I missed something, IKF's still here too. He was the one that might have actually had some value. Here's what I heard through the grapevine. IKF stayed because Cherington liked his leadership qualities. No, I'm serious. I heard that from a couple different places, that there was an internal desire on Cherington's part to keep the player. Heaney, I think they just got stuck holding the bag. He wasn't very good. I don't think anyone was fooled by Tommy Pham getting his vision worked out and turning into a productive hitter for a month. They're left holding the bag on some bad acquisitions, but to go back to where this started, Rich, I think when you know how bad a job somebody did, when you're getting, in my case, the words intentional sabotage thrown at you on Twitter in your mentions, in your direct messages, all that stuff, things going so poorly for Ben Cherington that people are wondering if he wasn't just salting the earth and burning the boats or whatever behind him on his way out the door. The thing that gets me about the Bednar deal, now, Mason Miller went with a starting pitcher, Sears, and Mason Miller has more years of control, and frankly, Mason Miller's better, even though Bednar's having a better year. And they got the number 3 prospect in all of baseball as the centerpiece of that deal. Fine. But I heard from a couple of different places that Tate, the catcher who went to Minnesota when they traded their closer to the Phillies, Pirates could have had him. Pirates could have had that deal with the Phillies where Bednar goes and it's a closer for this Tate, who is the 56th overall prospect. He's an 18-year-old catching prospect, and that the Pirates didn't seem interested because he was so far away from the majors. So then they get a guy in Flores as the centerpiece of the deal, who's the 8th-ranked prospect in what is overall a pretty weak farm system. They don't even sniff the Yankees' one of their top 5 prospects, and that's after most people agreeing and Ben Cherington, I think, confirming that they intended to get somebody's top 5 prospect for David Bednar. That was going to be their ask. And it sounds like they had a chance to maybe get that from Philly and passed it up in favor of what on paper looks like a worse deal. And then the Bailey Falter thing, listen, Richie, you're a little older than me, not much. And so we've both seen a lot of bad trades and bad signings and bad deals. I know the Matt Morris trade is technically the worst thing we've all probably seen. The Bailey Falter thing is inexplicable. A guy as a first base prospect in Moss, who is ostensibly the player that you're supposed to have some hope for, he just looks like a career minor leaguer in the making. The stats aren't jumping off the page in high A ball. And then they get a pitcher back who's a lefty reliever who's like a day older than Bailey Falter. Falter is not Sandy Koufax, don't get me wrong, but left-handed pitchers who are roughly league average and can eat some innings have real value. Ben Cherington might as well have just been dropping him off in the trash and asking for some banana peels and stuff like that and some loose garbage from the Royals in return.
Moss was an undrafted free agent signing. That's where he is right now. So he's not even an elite prospect at one point. Wasn't even drafted in the top 10 rounds or whatever it might have been. Look, the way I looked at it, and I know it's hard to compare the Mason Mueller, David Bednar, Sears, and Falter, but you look at what the Pirates traded away and what the A's traded away and what they got from one team, and the Pirates were nowhere close to that. If you combine those two.
Ben Cherington's not good at it. Ben Cherington is not good at his job, and today he's actually awful at it. And today was further proof of that. I mean, he did a terrible job, I would say. I'd give him like a D, and maybe closer to an F on deadline day here when you take all of it into account. Now we wonder with the money saved and the Hayes and Bednar deals that those guys were owed, like something like $20 million they were saving over the next year into the year plus. What are they going to do with it? Ben Cherington, is he actually going to be the one allowed to spend that money? It's really bad. It's further proof that the greatest sin here was Bob Nutting not firing him after last season and then starting over with somebody new. They have let this situation linger, and they are paying dearly for it in a situation where they were trying to set themselves up for something positive in 2026. It is honestly the most disheartening Pirates trade deadline, and I've sat through a lot of bad ones that I can remember.
You know, obviously, Ben Cherington gets a lot of the blame because he's the general manager, but you can't let Bob Nutting off the hook here. I mean, he obviously didn't let Ben Cherington go rogue, so he had some say in this. You know, I think, all in all, when you're looking at this is about money, saving money again, that they're not going to use next year, that they're going to try to fool all the fan base into coming around 26, we're going to be competitive again. How? They've gotten way worse, and with these trades, they're kind of in no man's land. Are they competing 5 years from now? Or are they trying to compete 3 years from now? Or what? Nobody knows.
I mean, one thing I don't ever want to hear again from the general manager or the owner until such time as the team on the field or the moves that are made seriously reflects this is this idea that they are urgently trying to win. Because talk is exceptionally cheap, and all of their protestations or their public statements about how urgently they want to win ring unbelievably hollow when you actually consider the moves that they both do and do not make. So I would like to imagine that Pirates fans feel the same way. I do not want to hear anybody affiliated with this organization talk about an urgency to win, because if they really feel an urgent need to try to do that, then they are as incompetent as it gets in actually executing moves that bring about winning.
All right, we got to take a break. We got the phone lines jammed right now. We're taking those phone calls coming back next. Stay right there. All right, welcome back to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. This is our Xfinity tweet of the night. Jeff Passan among the return the Pirates and Bednar deal per ESPN sources. Catcher Rafael Flores, who tore up Double-A, is now at Triple-A. Top shelf framer, regarded as a big league ready catcher. They got two of them from the Yankees. Very good centerpiece also in Edglin Perez, who is 19. Excellent swing decisions. He's batting .209 right now in single A. I don't get it. Both of the guys are catchers. I think Flores is batting, .280 something and some change. 15 home runs in Double-A, got moved up to Triple-A. I don't know what he's done there, but I don't know. Maybe they're going to be centerpieces, but these guys might not even be here next year. We thought Nick York was a good trade last year. At least I did, and we talked about it yesterday for Quinn Priester. He hasn't sniffed the majors yet either. So
he's being blocked by Kiner Falefa, among other people, who's going to stay here.
You're right. Good clubhouse guy.
Excellent swing decisions, by the way, is when I am under a tree and I just simply hit a good 6-iron punch-out shot instead of trying to hit a hero shot. I don't want to hear excellent swing decisions about a guy hitting .209 in A ball. That Passan tweet, by the way, is like the only sort of head-scratcher from today that gives me pause. I respect Jeff. I think he might well be the best baseball insider going. And for him to write that, it was the only trade that he really offered an actual editorial opinion on. It was very strange, one, that was the outlier of all the deals he would actually sound off on, that was the one he picked. And two, it is surprising, just every time Jeff Passan tends to talk about the Pirates, he is ripping them. Ownership, front office, and or all of the above. And so for him to randomly be the one person that thinks the Pirates got a pretty good deal here, a pretty good return for Bednar, is definitely strange for me. I would say that.
You know, not when you look at what the A's got. It's not even close. They're not even in the same ballpark. And, You know, I know Mason Miller is probably a better closer, a younger closer, more controllable, potential starter. But you got to get someone. You need a top five prospect.
Richie, I know we got to go to the phones, but quickly, all those things about Miller are true, and there was a starting pitcher thrown in and everything else. But the starting pitcher was like a league average to slightly below league average guy. The golf shouldn't be you got the third-rated prospect in all of baseball back, and the Pirates got the Yankees number 8, who isn't even in the top 100 or seemingly close to it. That's my point.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be that much of a gulf in the return for these players, given what the overall reliever market has looked like.
I mean, you could have thrown in Bailey Falter and Bednar together. I mean, that's what I was kind of saying. You know, who knows? But, all right, our live poll question from Penn West University. Are you happy with the Pirates move? Obviously, nobody is, 97%. Let's go out to Frank in Taylorstown. How you doing, Frank?
Hey, guys. How are you doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
With the move that these guys are making, I mean, how can you expect Skeens to even stay? I'm flabbergasted. He's going to ask for a trade next year. Why would he waste his talent for single-A players that are never even going to get to the majors? I mean, I just don't understand any of this. We're not even thinking about Skeens at all. I'd love to hear what you think.
Well, yeah, Frank, you know, honestly, I'm thinking about the Pirates winning again. You know, thinking about Skeens' career is secondary for me, being covering the Pirates and wanting the Pirates to win. But, you know, you don't see too many people demanding trades in baseball, unlike other sports. And the Pirates have control of this guy. So, and I think they're going to take advantage of it. I mean, right now, if you're not serious about winning, you should consider trading this guy and trying to get a haul. But you don't want Ben Cherington to do that.
I mean, the fact that we're talking about this again, the fact that Harold Reynolds felt it appropriate, to go on MLB Network and say that the Pirates should inquire about trading Skeens, this is the time to do it. It just shows you how pathetic the situation has become. MLB Network, I guarantee you a guy like Reynolds is getting told by a producer, hey, go with this take. We would love to try to put pressure on the team to trade Paul Skeens to somewhere that's a bigger market where he's going to be pitching in more impactful games. I mean, they're seen as a sideshow right now. They're seen as an unserious franchise, and they deserve to be seen that way. They're not. I mean, Paul Skeens offered what I thought was a pretty real critique of the offseason that they had. We'll see how much they care about their best player and the presumptive Cy Young winners' opinions on what they're doing to build this team. My guess is it'll be a lot of, oh, we take it very seriously, and then there's not going to be a lot of action taken to actually back up those words, because that's been really the theme for the Pirates.
You know, like yours, my Twitter notifications are filled with negativity. Joe Murphy just said this organization has the worst owner, GM in baseball. MLB has to step in. Magic said, I believe they will do less than always to try to ride it out until the CBA is up. Culture said, I'm done. I won't come back until Cherington and Nutting are gone. So I don't think Nutting's going anywhere. Let's go out to Greg in Newcastle. How you doing, Greg?
Oh, I'm quite depressed.
It seems like everyone, the entire Pirates fan base is.
This is criminal. Not even a hitter. It's unbelievable. Nutting and Cherington should be banned from baseball. Makes me want to cry.
Greg, I appreciate the call. You know, I feel a little bit better about this if say, this Flores guy was in AAA lighting it up and close to being here next year. I could maybe live with it.
He's got like a 680 OPS in 10 games in AAA. So his best case scenario is he rips up AAA for the Pirates in the next month plus, and then he's ready very early next year to be their catcher. But you know, it reminds me, Richie, their pursuit of catchers in constantly trying to fill a void that they can't fill, like the Steelers and inside off-ball linebackers ever since Shazier got hurt. I'm half surprised the Pirates didn't try to get Devin Bush in a trade so that maybe he could play catcher. But think of what they've done. Henry Davis. Today's trade is an admittance that that was a failure. Joey Bart was a one-year wonder as an 800 OPS guy who actually gave you some hope. They're now kind of telegraphing that they're giving up on him.
Yep.
I'm old enough to remember it 12 months ago when Endy Rodriguez was still supposed to be the catcher of the future. I mean, just it's a monumental failing at an important position, and they keep trying to chase it down, and it doesn't seem like they ever will.
Rob, out north for sales. How you doing, Rob?
Richie, Chris, pleasure to talk to you.
Thanks.
A team who, in their opinion, was close
at the beginning of the season just got way further away after the events of today. What are high A prospects that were acquired by a guy that shouldn't be here? What are they going to do in a system that doesn't develop talent? And I also blame Bob Nutting, but Nutting's not going to fire himself. All we can hope for is he fires Charrington, but today set them back a couple years. So who would you put on your list to replace him?
I don't know. I would look to someone inside like the A's organization, Tampa's organization, someone that knows how to, play small market baseball, right? And look, there might not even be a season in 27 too.
I mean, at this point, that actually feels like, are you sure? You promise? Instead of the threat that it should feel like for Pirates fans. I'm not going to insult the listener or the viewer and try to tell you that I've been scouring the map of assistant general managers on the rise, but I think you can go with a pretty simple template. Find somebody that's worked for a really successful small market team, or worked for a guy like Andrew Friedman, works for a team right now that doesn't want him to go, where you'll have to overpay like a high-level assistant GM. Maybe there's somebody with the Dodgers right now under Friedman who he really wants to keep. Pay that person extra money to come to Pittsburgh. Pay somebody that's going to overhaul this entire thing. But let's not forget, front offices don't have a salary cap, just like baseball overall doesn't. And so the team, people always wonder, like, how do the Dodgers constantly have a solid farm system when they're also spending all this money trading prospects? Well, they are better at scouting, drafting, development, all of that stuff too. So I don't know what the Pirates are going to do to close that gap, but they're behind the 8 ball in pretty much every conceivable way.
Rob Rosen tweeted, they have soiled the Pirates' legacy. Gregory tweeted, they are a minor league team. Maybe get a Savannah Bananas team in here. That's a good one. All right, we're going to take a break. Back in a couple minutes.